this one ends, and it looks like we are going to be getting started on Ilios. Which round are we going to start out on? Oh, no, it's Ruins. Or should I say, oh boy, it's Ruins.
That's definitely the reaction to have if you're a fan of potentially seeing a lot of sniper action here. As we know, Ruins, one of, in my opinion, the best sniper maps, or the most common maps to see snipers run, except with the exception of maybe First Point, Junkertown. So hopefully looking to see if either team's going to be rolling out with those hit scan, or those long range hit scan players rather. But for the moment, we are just in the team selection phase. And right now, Threep, do you think we're going to be seeing any particular change-ups coming out?
We have 13 seconds roughly until I get jebaited real hardcore style. So let me just be the first one to say that if Widowmaker is going to be a factor on this map, it's going to be insta-locked. As you mentioned, like again, this is a long range map. There is a bit of a skybox, but I don't know if it's something the teams are Pharah and a Widowmaker? Dust my eyes, deceive me, Latvia, what are you doing? I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a little bit of a crux on Tia to really have to get the angles going with the Pharah there. You do not want to be just in open sight of RTT's Widowmaker, but we're going to be seeing him rolling out here in just a second as the gates are coming open.
Yeah, RTT is going to be matching them on that Widow duel with a Mercy. Both teams going to have a Mercy to get that damage boosting action going. And Drobion going to be rolling out with the Doomfist. That's going to be crazy in this quote-unquote double barrier.
Yeah, absolutely. As we've seen kind of Sigma start to kind of come to fruition, it's definitely going to be crucial to see that Doomfist playing strong up against him.
And so there they go. The teams have begun the poke phase of the fight. The barriers are on the field, but Latvia is showing a much more definitive point presence. The pull goes in. That is going to result in the kill. RTT says pull. The shot goes in. It's going to get res pretty quickly up. And so now we're going to be looking at actually Romania taking the point very early on. Massive anti-nade going in. But I think the fight is pretty much decided, and Latvia is going to be pulling out here.
Yeah, gonna try to be pulling out as we see the kills coming through here. And that was a rather quickly won fight as we see first fight just about ending. And it's only 15% as I was saying that. So right now there's still kind of a little bit of recovery time for Latvia to kind of get themselves recollected. Fortunately, since the fight wasn't that long, Romania did not have an opportunity to build up too many ults. And we're actually going to be seeing a swap up of compositions coming from Latvia. They're going to be running the Reaper May now.
So I don't disagree with this. Romania came in real strong, real fast. So that is definitely, I think, a solid move. So now they're going to be bringing up a much close range fight. It's going to be Reaper May. Again, they have a lot of chutzpah to bring into the few meters game, but there's Androbian. He gets right in there. He pulls it again. Marks goes down, but they're actually going to die for their quote-unquote sins. Another massive anti-nade going in, but again, every time, the longer this fight goes on, the more the percentage builds for Romania.
Yeah, absolutely. Atia being able to get positioned right onto this point is so crucial. That Reaper able to just pry in so much damage. Slade trying to hold out. We're going to see if he's going to make or break the team right now.
Jeez, look at that go in. Alexio pulls the res, grabs the kill. This is unbelievable. I honestly thought the fight was going to go for Latvia, and lo and behold, the kill feed, no, it speaks for itself.
Yeah, Romania looking strong so far, looking to put up a good fight. And with the infrasights coming out from RTT, that's going to be a lot of positioning given to the side of Romania. Not going to be able to get the sneak on him from Latvia. Xapi is a rough spot.
Yeah, the early kill onto Xapi is not something you want to see, but they were probably going for that touch. It's not going to happen from anyone because that's a 0 to 100. Okay, so now it's time to actually toss out some predictions here. Romania looking pretty strong on Ilios.
Yeah, Romania, I don't think you could put up any argument, just completely dominated that Ruins phase. Not a great showing from Latvia. I appreciate their changes going through with the May and Reaper and kind of put the clamps a little bit to the Sigma, but they just looked like they had a hard time getting into positioning. Once they got advantage, as we saw in that second fight, they didn't really have the opportunity to stabilize, and because of that, they were never really able to get on point and flip it over, let alone hold it for the remainder of the round.
Yeah, it's how do you say this? It's a rough situation to be in. Maybe the switch came too late. I don't know. They switched pretty much exactly as quickly as they could have after the first fight. Okay, RTT's coming out with the Symmetra. So initially, so apparently Widowmaker's not their only forte, and I'm really gonna like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Sim makes a lot of sense going into a double shield composition. The Sim can just absolutely drain the heck out of the shields put forth by the side of the Latvians. And it's going to really put the onus on the tanks to play kind of conservatively, but they're not even going to be playing that close to RTT to give them the opportunity.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're seeing the same thing come out from Romania and again. They're the ones taking up point position. They're going to claim percentage pretty much uncontestedly. The anti-nade has gone in, but Romania didn't really have to do anything. They're not even any kills going in. They just pretty much just said, you know, we're just going to grab this corner real quick if that's cool.
Yeah, not a lot of ult charge on the board yet, but a big boop and the kills start flowing.
Yeah, wow. That was a play that... I don't know, it seemed like it was a powder keg. The fuse was going down, and then all of a sudden, wham bam, thank you ma'am, Romania shows up in a big way.
Yeah, and now they're going to be looking to take a little bit more of a forward position. Slade getting pretty aggressive with that shield by most standards. They're going to be backing off just a bit once they see the team start to come in full force. And Tia going to once again be coming in on that Pharah, going off the swap. Looking perhaps to get a little bit of that aerial advantage. Doomfist and Sim, not necessarily the best anti-aircraft characters in this game. Going to be getting the Nano as well.
Yeah, so loving this action coming out. Holy moly, so finally Latvia showing up to the field. They are going to be... oh goodness, oh no. So Tsema grabs the kill into Buchenwald's, losing a big killer. There it is again! Just crazy! It looks like Romania is just perfectly coordinated here. Kills just flow in, not once, not twice, but 4 almost immediately.
Yeah, and now we're seeing more swaps come out from the Latvian team. We're going to be seeing Marks now have the Hanzo on the hip, ready to go. They're going to be running double projectile. Not necessarily an issue, but the situation here is going to be that because of all these swaps, the ult's going to be suffering a little bit. Now we're seeing no DPS with any ultimates on the side of the Latvians. It's going to be a tough situation.
Yeah, and they have this big barrier on Romania's side just waiting to be deployed. And there it is, the accretion disc goes in, the damage comes down. That's 50% of your max HP pool. That's huge. It doesn't result in any kills, but it keeps them off the map. Unbelievable. Romania takes Ilios with... oh, jeez.
Yeah, Romania takes Ilios pretty much without Latvia being able to even get point. They weren't able to flip it or at all or have it go in their favor even once. And, you know, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a Doomfist play of the game, just coming in, tearing up into the back line. You love to see it. Love to see that flank fist go in every once in a while.
Yeah, it's Doomfist is, again, we talked about Symmetra being a barrier breaker. Doomfist, in particular, is pretty adept at ripping through those barriers. I'm wondering, actually, if we're going to be seeing some Hammond or maybe even a Genji. Maybe, I don't know, like sacrilege, I know. Just to combo with that particular awfulness, because and you even have the Winston. Again, Sigma on the field means that the barriers are going to be flowing, and the barriers are going to be flowing a lot. So your best bet is to either bust them down or get around them, and Doomfist is really good at that.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the concept behind playing with Sigma is not necessarily, unless you're playing a sim, it's not all the time trying to just, you know, break the shield. It's a lot of times trying to find ways around it or finding ways in which they can't optimally cover their team with it. I think a Pharah a lot of times can achieve that, but, you know, if you ult with Pharah against a Sigma, it's going to put you in a tough spot. But as we move forward, if Latvia has one thing to look forward to from that last match, it does now mean that they will be able to pick our hybrid map going into our game 2. So, based on what we just saw, do you think there's anything Latvia is going to want to try to stick with or avoid for this?
I would avoid a Widowmaker map 100%. RTT demonstrated that they're the king of the castle with the Widowmaker. So yeah, I would avoid Widowmaker heavy maps. I would avoid it's hybrid. So I don't know. Maybe King's Row is not a bad pick. Not a bad pick. Eichenwald actually might be to their advantage. You know, if they want to try and bust up a bunker, that could be a good option. It's not necessarily a Widowmaker-centric map. You have the one solid option on the streets phase, so to speak. But otherwise, you could be safe from RTT's murderous ways.
Yeah, definitely some good points there. We are once again just waiting on the teams to kind of get going, to get the ready signal, making sure that they might need to calm themselves down. Latvia really kind of had the precedent set for them as to how these games are going to go if they don't kind of change things up here a bit. I know that I would certainly need a little bit of a recollection period after a game like that, so they might just be trying to get something along those lines for themselves.
Yeah, getting taken 0 to 100 on 2 rounds of a control point map, that sends a message. If you are Romania, you're probably sitting pretty, having a good time. If you're Latvia, agreed. This is definitely a, whoa, okay, hang on, looks like we're playing Overwatch. We need to, gird your lions and buckle up and whatnot. And yeah so...
I think that Latvia is going to have to bring out kind of all the stops here. They're going to have to break out kind of all the gear they got. They're going to get their Nintendo Power Glove on, ready to go for this next one. They're definitely going to have to kind of change things up, because right now it's going to be a little tough if they just kind of leave it as is.
Agreed. You absolutely 100% need to reconsider how you're going to engage this team. You tried the Reaper May. That didn't work. You tried... Well, on the well, there was some heroes on the map. Ish. And Romania just ran roughshod all over it. So it's actually going to be an escort map, and we are going to Havana. So, throw out what I just said about avoiding the Widowmaker maps.
Yeah, that is certainly it. I mean, Havana, kind of an interesting pick to me. I really like seeing the distillery phase, the interior phase, just because I think that it kind of changes the pace up. You have in the first phase, it's very alleyway feeling, and then in the second phase, it's all indoors, and then you go back to being outside on the third phase, but this time with a little bit more open geometry, a little bit more open angles. So it's kind of a nice change up to see things hit that inner distillery section.
Yeah, and of course this map has quite the skybox, and one of the things that we see a lot is an early stall, so to speak, right out of spawn, featuring a Pharmacy, or as some people call it, the Harmercy. And Romania pulling Androbian onto the Pharah with Alexio on the Mercy might indicate that that's exactly what they're going for. Marks, however, setting up on a Sombra, that's something we've only played the one round, but Marks on Sombra, Tia on Hanzo, I'm loving it already. That's the EMP Dragons combo that can be very deadly.
Yeah, absolutely gonna have to be a sure eye out for that. Definitely gonna be looking forward to it. I want to see some good Sombra play here, but I know that the Latvian team's going to have to really have some coordination, and that I don't know if it's been their strong suit just quite yet. But again, that Pharah really weak to it if she gets hacked, and can be an absolute picking target if that is the case.
And so there they go, they're up in the sky, they're flying high, and yeah, they're stuffing them right back into spawn. The entirety of the Romanian team is taking a very aggressive stance, which on Havana is pretty standard. You want to set up as high as possible. Yes, Androbian finds Tia very early on. Marks actually is going to flex onto the Widowmaker just to try and deal with this Pharmacy, but the angles you can take here over this garage make it very difficult to pluck them out of the sky.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like no quick doings for the side of the Latvian team. They're really playing this Pharmacy in this uncomfortable side alleyway, and they're going Pharah v Pharah, and I think that this might just come down to a mechanical battle. They're going to be taking a little bit of a dogfight here.
Yeah, this is going to be rough. And Androbian, speaking of dogfight, ace in the sky, not only do they grab Tia, they're also going to pick off Marks on the ground. So you could say aerial superiority has not only been achieved, but confirmed. You can only get one of those reses. Marks is going to get back right up. But the kills keep coming in. This spawn stuff is disgusting.
Yeah, and I mean, at this rate, we really need to see Latvia make any progress onto the card. They do not want to leave it with a goose egg. There's still a couple minutes here. But with the ults now starting to be built in favor of Romania, it's looking a little bit grim. We're going to be seeing the Rocket Barrage come online, and the Pharah looking to position up for the back barrage. And there it goes.
The barrage comes in just as Waltham was saying it was gonna. And yeah, Tia gets the kill, but Skyreaper also follows up. The res is in, and this is theoretically the moment where the offense needs to start. What a ballsy res!
Yeah, that was quite bold. Did not expect that to come through, and the Rockets keep going. You can't let that kind of play go unpunished. Although, to be fair, on the side of Latvia, there was not necessarily a man equality there. We're a little bit down in numbers, and still Romania not even using their ults to a high level of commitment, just using them kind of 1-2. That's the ult economy you like to see.
Okay, so there we go. Androbion goes down. Tia actually gets rezzed. So yes, Nano Boost is in, but no, there it is. Sigma finds Trusty Mix with the Accretion Disc kill. I love to see it. Sigma is just so powerful. Androbion goes down yet again. Still, the payload sits at 0.00 meters traveled. And Tia better make something of this barrage, or they're not leaving.
Yeah, fortunately, the fights have been looking better and better for Latvia, but they were at such a rough spot to begin with. That doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. However, the kills going through might give them the advantage they need now.
Yeah, so here we go. There it is. Trusty Mix drops the bongos, and wham bam, thank you ma'am, the payload has begun to move. They even have the barrage and an accretion disc of their own in their back pocket. RTTs can have the dragons with Skyreaper, also potentially a nano boosting nonsense. Alexio actually switches over to the Zenyatta. What do we think about that?
I kind of like the Zenyatta in this situation. If you put the Discord on the Pharah or on one of the heavy tanks, it makes them a very primary focused target. As well as it's one of the more DPS focused supports, so you can definitely kind of put the clamps to the enemy team. Gonna be a little hard to do against the DPS players of Latvia, at least in terms of character selection, but the Nano going onto the Doomfist.
If the dragons come in, curious about the potential combo potential with Sigma and the dragons. We'll get to that later though, because it looks like Romania has decided, nay, just because you thought you were going to take point A doesn't mean you're actually going to. Oh, Tia though, a little bit of the clapback.
Yeah, going for it, not quite gonna matter though as the timer ticks down. Not even an overtime opportunity. As, you know, Romania going to be having a very forward hold, giving them the advantage to have multiple during the first phase. And, I mean, you know, we saw the effectiveness there. They held it just under 70 meters. That's pretty achievable.
Yeah, that's rough. All right, so the payload made it exactly 69.35 meters. And now Romania get to try and push it that far. I say try because the spawn stuff that they pulled off was definitively excellent. You had Androbion rocking some good stuff. You had RTT Alexio. Like, honestly, the whole team really came together quite nicely. My biggest curiosity now is, what is Latvia going to pull out here? On their defense, you know, they know their win condition. If they leave spawn, if Romania leaves spawn, their chances of winning this map outright exponentially increase.
Yeah, I would say that especially if they don't have a forward hold, as we saw coming through from Romania, it's going to be questionable if it's even more than a one-fight game. So they really do want to try to follow the example of their opponent there and take that very forward fight. You prevent them from getting any progress at all. That way, if you get wiped quick enough, you can come back as a full team, hopefully in time for the contest before it rounds the second bend. Ideally, that's the case, however, but it's all gonna be in the execution here from Latvia.
Yeah, speaking of execution, I think some execution play is in effect. Their defense, yeah, Tia's already setting up with Xapi over that side. Oh, but here we go. So Romania looking for a bit of map control. Sigma's barrier being used to excellent effect to try and block Tia's rockets as they come in. But you win the war in the air, you ignore the war on the ground, and it looks like they may have... nope, there it is. Androbion finds Tia, so that's blowing this wide open.
Yeah, and Drobian going to be prying open the double kill, no DPS going to be available for the defending team. This means that it's pretty much just going to be a backing game for them, and already this is looking grim.
Yeah, remember that time when people said that barriers was going to mean less hit scan being played? Yeah, me neither. Tropian, apparently RTT is not the only Widowmaker on that team.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be kind of sharing the Widow love. Both players looking to get some bullets put into heads, and they're going to be doing it with some effect. And now Romania going to once again be going a little bit more forward than you might expect them to. But hey, they're just going to be getting free cart push while the fight is taking forward taking place a little bit ahead.
Jesus, that's all I can do is laugh. Like, Androbion finds not only a kill, but like, oh, so hang on a second. Mark's again coming back. Alexiu's gonna find the main tank though. You always like to say that. I'd rather have the main tank than the DPS, and that's pretty much it. Romania takes Havana. Holy moly.
Yeah, and man, this I mean we saw it before. Romania gonna pretty much looking to be running away with it here. Things are looking pretty grim for Latvia right now.
Yeah, that's rough. Really rough. Look at this, the play of the game coming out from Skyreaper. Holy moly. I've never really heard of a flanking Ana before, but I think I have now. While we are taking up the break, so to speak. Out of Latvia, the plucky underdogs as of right now, 2 down. But also maybe Romania's dominance is more your style. The merch page has a lot of sick stuff that you could, potentially have for yourself and just, rock your favorite team's colors. Lots of teams going on there. Also, like and subscribe if you are, follow and subscribe. The YouTube days.
Yes, very much so. We love seeing that support come through from you guys. So love seeing that come through. I know me and Threep always like seeing whenever we cast the community getting the support. I mean, not only is it the community getting support, but you're also showing the support for these teams. Both teams, you can say what you want about the power disparity for it, but both still very, very skilled teams of players. So definitely both are going to be appreciating your support, as well as the production team here. So, we all appreciate it.
Yeah, and as a reminder, this is a fundraiser. This is for a good cause. Also, money spent is money to the prize pool, which is right now sitting right over $1,000, which is a pretty penny, regardless of where you are or what your situation is. So these teams are definitely competing for some good times. Meanwhile, it looks like Madpie has been subbed in for, where is it? Well, it's difficult to say. Madpie, however, is in. So maybe this is Latvia's comeback story. Like, we like to say that Overwatch is pretty much just an anime, like, redemption arcs and whatnot. I'm curious as to how Latvia is going to pull this one out. They have selected King's Row as their next map. Now, they went with Havana initially, which, we all saw how that went. How is King's Row going to be different?
I don't know. I mean, I got to say that King's Row, first point particularly, it's kind of likely we're going to see some Pharah play there, because King's Row, not necessarily the least Pharah favorable map. At least on that first point, you have that tall building that can allow you to cut a whole bunch of different angles and really kind of slice the pie, as the chess phrase goes. So I think that's something we might be seeing the attacking teams try to leverage here, but it's going to be, I think, how they feel they can run against a hit scan player. I mean, the way it's been going, I just got to be honest, it's looking like Romania probably just going to be running away with it again.
Yeah, so again, we have 25 seconds until Threepwood debates himself and talks about the comp that doesn't exist. But yeah, I'm with Sir Waltham on this one. This is still a Widowmaker-friendly map. And now we've seen not only RTT, but Androbion pop off. So I don't even know what you go with here. You have to have a counter. There's got to be a counter. I don't know if it's like a tracer, one clipping into their head. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that this choke can be especially brutal when you consider that the meta we've kind of been in lately has been that double shield meta. That can be such an oppressive way to play. And at this choke, if you don't have something to quickly bypass those shields, it's really going to start to hamper on you right before that statue of Zendaya. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough if they can't just kind of pierce those shields right out of the gate. However, it's looking like both teams going to be opting for that double shield defense.
Yeah, and also both teams, especially RTT, rocking the Hanzo. Talking about the snipers in the barriers meta, so to speak. Hanzo seems to be what we get a lot. The Storm Arrows, despite the slight nerf, is still a pretty solid DPS option. And with Androbion being able to just duck behind them, that's a solid combo.
Yeah, and a big anti-nade coming to start from Skyreaper. Not going to be netting anything, but will make a little bit of hesitation for the Latvian squad.
Yeah, their Ana play has just been absolutely fantastic, but Madpie in the house, dropping some sick rockets. This is the kind of Pharah play we like to see. I love hearing Sigma yell, by the way. It's just so nice. It lets me know something's going on.
Yeah, yes, the footed Dutchman, Netherlandsman, going to be given the grunts out here. And we can see RTT trying to take up that high ground, but get beat down by a giant boulder.
Yeah, Narcotic finds that kill with the big, hankin' rock, and that's a tough one. The projectile drop on that one is not insignificant, but wow, defense from Romania is pretty tenacious despite the kills coming out.
Yeah, and Romania not going to be having that mercy, meaning that the walkback will be a little bit more standard for RTT. But Hanzo, not the least mobile character, so he will be getting back a little bit quicker than you might expect. And now we're going to be seeing a second offense getting mounted here, as it's going to be Latvia pushing in.
Yeah, losing the Pharah early on because it's going to get rezzed, and so now the Storm Arrows are flying, the halts are coming, and the barriers are real, and it's a Coalescence coming out from Buchen Vaults to start. They get the kill onto Androbion. That's a massive one. Narcotic flexing onto that Sigma with that massive eating ability, but RTT, Sonic Arrow kill. It's just rude.
Yeah, it's going to be tough here, and as we said, the Pharah are going to be coming out here. However, Latvia does not seem to be able to play it to its most optimal style here. They're going to be getting away with their life, the pharmacy that is, but it's going to be so close. And right now, no ults so far on the side of the Latvian team. That's going to be a tough spot. Zapi going to be having that Valk up, but I mean, you really can't do anything to prevent that burst damage from the meteor strike that's going to be coming online for Romania.
Yeah, and there it is. RTT is going to be dropping the dragons right into the tank line. They are going to survive, but Marks does get focused down by Alexio. Again, that Zenyatta, not the pick I necessarily would have expected.
Yeah, and I really like the ult we saw come out from Androbion, because we saw the dragons come out, the Latvian team starts backing into the hotel, and then the Doomfist just gets dropped into the hotel. And it just deals so much damage and puts an even tighter squeeze on the offensive team. They're really going to have to make something happen here.
Yeah, it's a no-bueno situation for Latvia, who have not made any progress on the point whatsoever. If they don't get past a third, it's not going to be good for their subsequent defense. Madpie, however, has the barrage in the sky. Another Coalescence. Actually, tons of ults coming online. There it is. The Coalescence comes up, but Madpie goes down before they can even pop the barrage as the Gravitic Flux goes down, murders so many.
Yeah, the Flux going to be coming in, putting everybody on the team who wasn't already dead at half health. That is a tough situation to be in. There's going to be a few ults online, but it's looking like just one more point for the Latvian squad. They don't have a whole lot of synergy here. Madpie and Mark's going to be having their DPS combos up, but not a lot of CC coming through from the tanks in terms of ultimates. Usually you see something like an Earth Shatter or a Grav to kind of lock opponents in place. Not going to be the case this time around.
Yeah, again, the ults are huge. This should result in a point take. Latvia has every ingredient necessary to make this happen. They have dragons, barrage league again. So the dragons are going to lead it out. Marks throws it right down into the backline. The Gravitic Flux is here. It's going to do some damage, but result in no kills. But Androbion was in the backline, and again, the kills just cascade.
Yeah, this Doomfist has been a thorn into the side of the Latvian team this entire match set series. And right now, once again, without going into overtime, round one is going to complete not a single percentage point on the board for our offensive Latvian team.
Yeah, big oof. Romania, dominating, frankly. I agree. I also think RTT is jacked IRL, apparently, according to the chat. So that's rough. That's a really rough turn for Latvia. This is it. They must defend King's Row to a third and, potentially take the tie. This could be a start of their reverse sweep. It super could be. But like, let's not ignore the gargantuan, hot pink neon strobe lighting elephant in the room.
Yeah, so we are going to be seeing that even if the
Jeez.
tie does come
Yep.
through, it's still going to be 2-1. So not going to quite be seeing things go in favor of Latvia, but still, they're going to want to fight to get as many points on the board, or at least take as many points from Romania as possible. And they have the opportunity to do that if they do get the draw.
Yeah, meanwhile, it's Threepwood debate time, so RTT definitely going to be rolling out of here with Toblerone. Androbion on the Genji, so, I don't hate that pick. Ah, dang it, they switched already. Jeez, man, that was fast. Anyways, this has been Threepwood getting debated.
This has been your debate time with Threepwood. However, as we look a little bit more towards the consistent roster, I'd say, we're going to be looking towards the Latvian squad. Mad Pie going to be on that May. May could be very effective here. I like it. You get some old school wall sections. As we know, if they're going to be running the double shield tank once again, not going to be a whole lot of mobility to kind of maneuver away from those walls. So hopefully that comes into play and to some effect here for Latvia.
Yeah, and the Baptiste is going to be huge for also affecting that stall. And yeah, so the Sonic Arrow is in. They have the team's positioning. They pretty much know what they're playing at this point. Maywall does a fairly decent job of separating. No kills coming in from either team yet. The halts are out, and Tropion flies themselves with their icicle. This is already not looking good. Woo, hang on, Slade going down. Good pick for Latvia.
Yeah, absolutely. RTT actually going to be continuing to roll out with the Torb, trying to get some leverage here with that turret, trying to make some angles. Not going to quite be the case, though, as it gets torn down relatively fast, and it's looking like a backup for the offensive team, at least for the time being. And right now we're seeing Androbion kind of on this May, looking a little hesitant, but that wall comes up and the team floods on the point.
Yeah, so there it is. Again, Romania just takes point presence, and that's gonna be it. Latvia doesn't remember to step on the point, so that's it. Romania takes King's Row with no kills.
Yeah, that is kind of the opposite of a seed 9, where you're trying to avoid conflict, so you just get off the point. I don't know what you'd call that, but
I don't know. It's super rough. It's just a no bueno situation for Latvia. So they surrender King's Row with nearly so much as a how do you do. We're looking at Androbion just doing some Doomfist craziness thanks to Slade. And
yeah,
while we're here, I
do want to talk about Androbion because I feel like they've been performing very well no matter what they're playing. I mean, I'm going to be praising the Doomfist a lot because that is such a high-paced hero that you just have to kind of put at a very high risk factor. If they have any CC that lands on you, it's going to put the Doomfist in a very tough spot. But Androbion not seeming to be too bothered by that. They've gone up against Maze. They've gone up against some Pharas. So I think that they're making it work no matter the composition that Latvia is choosing to run. And I think that shows some really good DPS play and just some coordination, knowing what you can kind of take advantage of on the opposing team.
Yeah, so speaking of taking advantage, you should take advantage of the Zandy, who is going to drop a hot link and has in the past to our merch store. Also, throw us the follow and subscribe if you are so inclined. But yeah, so Romania taking advantage heavily of Latvia's lack of point presence. I think that's actually the biggest thing from Romania that I'm noticing so far today. They are very adept at taking control of the map with no kills whatsoever. We've seen it from the pros, and Romania is demonstrating pretty solid proficiency at it.
Yeah, and right now Latvia's looking like the child who got their hands smacked for the cookie jar a few too many times, because now they're getting a little bit more and more hesitant, and it's seeming like that's really not an attitude that's going to play out in favor of going their way. They need to perhaps be a little bit more aggressive with it. I think that they really need to start taking the fight to Romania, because Romania seems to have been determining the speed of these fights, and especially with something like a Doomfist, that could be pretty critical.
Yeah, Romania has really kept the initiative the entire time. With Androbion's Doomfist, they're the ones throwing Doomfist into the backline, getting kills, and starting the fights. They're the poke phase of fights. Typically, what you see with the barriers, when barriers meet barriers, doesn't really exist when you have someone who can literally screaming into the backline and murder someone. So yeah, Doomfist is just chalking it up massively on the side of Romania. And Latvia doesn't really have any answer for it. They're not playing any heroes that could, there's no McCree. You can't flashbang it and be done with it. You can't do a lot, really. That's just kind of it.
Well, to be fair, I think Latvia has been trying to run heroes that can work against the Doomfist. They've been trying to operate with that Pharah for a little bit. They've tried a little bit of a longer range reach on Ruins, but it just hasn't seemed to work with them. Maybe because they just don't seem that coordinated as a team, or maybe they're just committing too much resources to that Doomfist, so the other DPS players can just kind of have free reign. But right now, they just really need to change some stuff up and really try to clamp down. As we move on to Temple of Anubis, first point again, another widow point. So who knows? Maybe it kind of prohibits the side of Romania from playing Doomfist on that first point, but that also means you're going to be enabling them to play Widow.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Temple Anubis, a lot. And looking at this particular little bit of high ground here, this is kind of like bunker central, right? This is where you put your Widowmaker. This is where you put your Orisa, or your, back in the day it was Reinhardt. Nowadays though, you have Baptiste, but you also have Doomfist, and I seem to remember the ability that Doomfist has. He can, starting from this top thing, I think he can actually reach all the way to that high ground. And if Reinhardt in this Overwatch?
You're talking about the Reinhardt. I'm over here thinking that the Junkrat's looking a little suspicious, but it looks like my suspicions might be confirmed as we're seeing the swaps come out. I think they're just playing with the casters at this point. They're just having fun with us.
The problem is, Sir Waltham, is that I played my hand. I let it be known that I talk about anything that I see on my screen. So it's Androbion coming out on the Widowmaker, RTT on the Hanzo. So yes, we have both snipers playing the snipers. Sema on the Roadhog. So this is interesting. We have the pulled port composition in going up against a double barriers. I am very interested to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, Madpie going to be on the Sombra just for a moment as we do some scouting. That Sombra able to turn invisible, just get a peek as to what the composition might be run up against. And it looks like instead they're going to be opting for the Mei Madpie, staying on that Ice Queen. And, we're just going to have to see how it comes down to effectiveness here.
Yeah, in this particular setup, yep, there it is. The Mei wall perfectly blocks off any hope of defensive play here. The entire team moves into the sideline, and this is going to be where they make their stand or die in the process. And yeah, the barriers are already broken. It's no bueno. Sigma's barrier, 1,500 health points to it, already gone.
Yeah, and, double shield, you should not be getting those kills like that. But we are seeing them start to come through for the side of Romania. A couple going in their favor. However, shields on all angles for the Latvian squad. At least that was the case, but looks like they might be calling for a little bit of a retreat.
Yes, Skyreaper actually, as the Zenyatta got caught way out of position, still manages to take out Buchenwald's, but offense replaces their picks a lot faster than the defense does. And Romania, however, is going to have a very long walk for the Zenyatta to come back. This is Latvia's big chance.
Yeah, and Latvia, they look like they're just kind of playing a back and forth battle. They don't know whether they want to stay up or they're going to be moving. But Trusty Mix going to be getting moved for themselves with that hook from Sema.
This isn't how I thought the pulled pork was going to play out. But RTT, which by the way is short for Reach the Top, as chat has so gloriously informed us, doing their job, making the picks happen. It's not no ults. Latvia is going to have, at the very minimum, a Nano and a Bongo, if Xapi can actually live long enough to get it off.
Yeah, and, that's a lot of damage amplification, but there's also a lot of pick potential, and that doesn't necessarily help you against getting picked, like Trusty Mix.
Yeah, Waltham, you said pick potential pretty much exactly at the same time that Androbion murdered Trusty Mix. Sema also is going to find Xapi. Yeah, see, this is just it. Romania is taking the fight to Latvia before they have a chance to get it off. But we're okay. Hang on, Buchenwald's and Madpie evening the score a little. That's huge for their potential offense if they can just capitalize on it.
Yeah, Androbion playing a very peculiar Widow battle at the doorway. And right now the rotation's coming through, looking a little bit suspect, but Androvion not going to be too bothered by that, as we've seen some continued dominance, even when they're down 1 or 2 men from the Romanian side. Latvia going to be having a handful of ults moving forward. I wonder if they're just stockpiling them to kind of use them all at the same time. Needs to be coordinated, though.
Yeah, speaking of coordination, that is a ballsy play from Romania coming out. Yeah, they're going to get punished for that. There's a level. The Dragons coming out from RTT is going to be a bit of a thing. It actually is going to get Chesty Mix. Good lord, people.
Oh, this is not what you wanted if you're on the side of Latvia. You do not want to get those kills to kind of even out, because you're just giving the defense more time to get more members onto the point. As we see, the snipers already going to be rolling back, and they didn't even get to point 3.
Yeah, they honestly could have capitalized real heavily on that forward play by Romania. It's not going to happen. They have one more shot at this. Slade actually drops onto the Hammond to presumably get back to the point in time. Narcotic is going to be flexing on... okay, so it's almost a big 6 coming out from Latvia. They should be able to do something with this. The kills, however...
Kills, however, not looking quite in their favor, and we're going to be seeing them try to rotate on the point. They need to get there, though. They're actually going to make the point this time.
Yes, so Madpie does set up. The Dragons is in, though. Oh, so there it is. Narcotic also going to be setting up. Oh, whoa, okay, hang on a second. Now it's a game of Overwatch. The kills coming in massively for Latvia. This point is theirs. Dominance is on the field. Actually, a Reinhardt does come out. They're going to die very quickly because they got ganked by 6 members of Latvia, who are going to be starting point B on Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, but Woodvald's got to be feeling like an absolute superhero after that play, getting the nano boost from Sapi, and just trying to tear into the remaining defenders going on towards point. The defenders with some recent changes now, not going to be punished as much for trying to stall out at the last moment. And now Latvia are going to be putting their best foot forward, hopefully, with this left side push.
Yeah, Marks gets very low. He gets boosted back up twice now. Narcotic also holding on to that ultimate, as is the Bongos. This could be a pretty quick push. Ah, the Dragons goes right in. Yeah, that's going to grab Marks pretty quickly. Bisecting the team, and Drobion doesn't get hit by the Dragons, but they do get killed by Trusty Mix. Mines, how did Slade build that so quickly?
My guess is Wrecking Ball just builds ults pretty quick, but right now the trades are going back and forth, which is not what you want if you're on the Latvian squad. And the flanking Zenyatta kind of coming through here, trying to get the kill onto Narcotic, who might escape. Nope, not gonna escape.
So they are gonna get, yeah, they're gonna get taken out there. Alexio is actually gonna pop Nano into that fight, and Romania is bereft of ults, whilst Latvia has many ults. This is what we would normally refer to as a bad time for the defense. Based on how Romania's been playing, though, I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, it really kind of speaks to Romania that they can play the Wrecking Ball and feel secure in that against a May. Slade not seeming to be too bothered by it, getting brought dangerously low, however. And right now, this is kind of dangerous for the defensive team, a lot behind the attacking team.
Yep, and there it is. It's a trade back and forth, and wow, yeah, so Trusty Mick goes down. Slade is gonna fall to Marks' Storm Arrow, and okay, hang on, look at this the Zenyatta from Skyreaper. They're playing it like a tracer, and so far it seems to be working, because Latvia has yet to make a play for the point.
Yeah, right now, it's continued, like, this is the most deathmatchy game I've seen in a long time. Romania just kind of taking it any way they can. Everybody trying to be a star standout player here. And, you know, despite 5 ults, not a whole lot able to be leveraged here from Latvia.
Yeah, Latvia has exactly 5 ultimates coming online, going up against Romania. I don't know. They have a bunch coming online. Slade, of course, is going to have the mines ready for the fight. That's, you know, just a foregone conclusion. But if Latvia's going to make a play, it's got to be now. But Slade is just not allowing that to happen.
Whoa. The Transcendent's going to be brought out here just to kind of navigate the mine situation. It's going to be pretty much a rush to get on the point. But safety going down early is not what you'd like. Once again, we might be seeing the point go untouched without an overtime.
Yeah, when one side fills the kill feed with their glorious images, it pretty much just is, again, a foregone conclusion. Anubis goes unchecked on point B. The Romanian offense now has their work cut out for them explicitly with a very definitive win condition. Take point A, grab a third on B, and that's a wham bam thank you ma'am.
Yeah, on the plus side, I think that is almost quite literally the first point that Latvia has scored in this set so far. So, at
Oof.
least they're showing that they're getting a little bit better. It kind of happened at the buzzer or a little bit closer to the buzzer than you might like for that first point. Usually you want to take that with as much time left as you can so you have that comfortable time bank. In the end, I'm not sure it would have mattered, but hey, they're walking away with something.
Yep. They put a point on the board. Actually, that's kind of huge, right? That's something that they haven't done really yet. So so it's 1-0 on Temple of Anubis and no progress on point B. If Latvia wants to win this map, realistically, they actually no. The only technical way they can do it is they have to avoid the capture on point A. That's it. That's all they got.
Yeah, and that's perhaps going to be a little bit of a tough gambit here. It looks like they might be leaning towards the pulled pork combination, so not going to be running that double barrier, which has been so predominant from both sides a little bit more nowadays. But Mark's going to be on that Widow as well. We were talking about how this map favors the Widow. We saw Andro on it a little bit for the first point as well, so going to be looking to see how Mark's measures up in this game.
Also Androbion on the Genji. I love it! Finally making this caster actually sound like they might know what they're talking about. JK, no amount of miracles can make that happen. A relative poke face has begun. Androbion almost gets taken down. Actually, Slade is going to be able to fall thanks to that pulled pork glory, but Androbion's going to be sneaking into the back line to start this play.
Yeah, that's something Marks is really going to have to be kind of heads up about. If they don't play a little bit cautiously, that Genji might come through and absolutely wreck them. However, they're playing pretty well with their squad right now. Latvia, definitely cloistered up very nicely, and it's taking Romania a little bit of time.
Yeah, anti-nade for days, but Batiste's immortality field is going to keep everyone alive just long enough for Buhenwalds to actually go down. Trusty Mix follows. There's Androbion with the Genji play. Again, a massive anti-nade from Skyripa means that this point is pretty much blown wide open. Romania just making sure that Latvia can't make any kind of last-minute play for it.
Yeah, Narcotic slept for just a moment on that hog, but not quite able to stay sleeping as they get woken up. Not going to be an issue, though. They do get killed. So we're going to be seeing now the point roll in favor of Romania. And, normally when we see the comp they're running out with, you see it in an attempt to achieve the Nano Blade, the Genji Blade and the Nano Boost from Ana. However, in this situation, I don't know if they'll need it before they capture point. I mean, they'll probably have the opportunity to build a little bit more towards that blade now that Slade is dead, but it certainly might not even be a win condition. Marks and Madpie both going McCree and May respectively to try to counter that a little bit.
Yeah, and I can super understand the reasoning behind that, especially with Marks on the McCree. There's no barriers coming out from Romania at the moment, so you kind of have your fair game with your hit scan.
Yeah, and as we talk about it, Mark's going to be landing the flashbang onto the supports. Not really going to be netting too much, though. They boosted Zenyatta once again.
Yeah, so the immortality field is down, but the kills are already in place. A huge anti-nade is ready. Then Blade is out. No nano boost needed. The third is taken. Everyone tuning in, that has been a take on Anubis. Romania murders all four maps. Well played to both teams. Holy moly, what a team.
Yeah, and I mean, from the first point on Ilios, I don't think we can say that we were surprised with the way that this turned out. As we talk a little bit of Zenyatta nano boosting, as I was talking, the second one of the match, of course, Buhenwald's getting the first one. And, I think Zenyatta plays were probably the Zenyatta nanos were probably the most entertaining part for me personally to watch. But overall, still a very enjoyable game, if not necessarily a competitive one.
Yes, Romania demonstrated that they are absolutely a force to be reckoned with. Latvia showing that they have a lot of room for improvement. Especially, this is going to be a VOD that I think they'll want to look at. Romania's ability to control the point, again, just with sheer space taking. Their tank play is unbelievable. Looking at Ana, like the anti-nades coming out from this team was just crazy good.
Yeah, and I think we can agree it didn't really matter too much what Romania played there for a bit. I mean, we saw them come out with a Torb on King's Row. Clearly, they were feeling confident enough there's something that Latvia is just kind of deficient in comparison to Romania that isn't necessarily comp understandings. Because I mean, all players equal. A McCree should be effective at winning one over on a Genji. You know, Focus Fire should be effective at mitigating some Torb turret damage, especially if it's not shielded, as we saw was the case a lot of times. But either way, I do agree this is going to be a very good VOD for Latvia to perhaps come back and review if they look to further their gameplay.
Yes, and Romania should be proud of that. They demonstrated pretty solid Overwatch overall, and honestly, I wouldn't want to play them. That's a hell of a team coming out there. They also difficult to say how Anubis would have gone otherwise, but they also brought out a no barriers composition in a I think we can pretty much agree this is a pretty barrier heavy meta right now.
Yeah, it very much so is. I think that as we saw the games kind of go on and on, we saw Romania kind of shift their mentality a little bit. They may be trying the viability of some other less conventional heroes, as they saw that Latvia was a little bit easier to take advantage of in respects to those characters. So definitely some reasoning perhaps for those characters, not just some troll picks, not some BMs coming out, but overall, I got to give it a GG's to both teams. Maybe not well played, but it was still a good game.
Yeah, absolutely good game from both sides. Although word on the street is we're actually going to have a little bit of a post-game interview. The player in question is going to be Alexio, who also is going to be the play of the game holder for that last match there on Temple of Anubis. With not wanting to be done in by Skyripa, they're also going to be throwing out some Zenyatta play of themselves. Didn't even need to pull the Transcendence here. It's actually just pure murder. It's not really balanced as Zenyatta might want QO4, but in Overwatch, picks make the picks happen.
All right, and we're going to be having Alexio hop in here with us. Alexio, how are you doing, my friend?
Hi, doing well.
Dandy. Congratulations to the team for your victory over Latvia.
Thank you.
Yeah, quite a big win there coming through, and largely in terms of score. Me and Threep were talking about it a little bit right before you popped in, and it seemed like you guys were kind of getting a little. We were getting a little bit more experimental in your compositions as we saw the game kind of progress against Latvia. Was there a reason for that, or were you guys just trying out different stuff?
To be honest, our roster, there are a lot of players with a deep talent pool, right, and different hero pools, and we just wanted to kind of create that environment where they're allowed to showcase it. And honestly, Androbian has a phenomenal Doomfist and a great Widow, and same thing with Isaiah RTT. He's just like a fantastic hit scan player, and we wanted to kind of open up those roles and let them actually show that off.
So now that show it off, you definitely did. That was a hell of a match. The one thing that I was kind of noticing is that a lot of different players on your team, they were within their roles, that is to say, were taking advantage of a lot of different heroes. And in you in particular, we got to see you on the Zenyatta at the very end there, even though Skyripa doing some crazy Tracer-esque flanks there at the end of the one match. So now we're in season quote unquote 18, but as far as you're concerned, if you had to play support, how do you feel about support right now? What's your favorite hero? What are you feeling?
See, I've always traditionally been a flex support player. Even as our manager Wizzo contacted me for playing on the team. See, I live in the U.S., but I'm Romanian, by citizenship. But yeah, but regardless, I'm on a Tespa team here, and on top of that, I'm all just a flex support player by nature. So my Ana Zen is kind of like my favorite hero pool. But I've also played main support in the past. So when they contacted me, I knew I'd have to swap over and play Lucio Mercy. To be honest, the meta is really shifting towards the Lucio Moira and just being able to sustain yourself in a team fight, against Reaper May, which has seen a lot of popularity. But honestly, playing Ana is such a versatile hero because you can solo carry a lot of these games when teams are trying to brawl up close and they don't have Diva. Hitting that anti-nade is just so big. Like you saw Skyreaper. Skyreaper's such a talented player. Being able to just hit anti-nades on their entire team consistently just helps the whole team, kind of steamroll over them. They can't really sustain themselves in that situation. So I would say Ana, but it's very, very difficult to play against double shield.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what we saw. I think one of the biggest anti-nades that we saw came out on King's Row. I think it was Skyreaper, just hit like a massive 3-man right out of the door. No defense coming through from the Latvian squad. But you brought up that you're in the U.S. right now, which raises a question to me. For you and your team, do you guys have a lot of prior gameplay experience with each other? Because I know that these are national teams that a lot of people, especially outside of the nation, might not have familiarity with these players. As an NA player, it's hard to kind of conceptualize that. Do you have a lot of familiarity with your other teammates?
For the most part, yes, but I would say that they mostly have a lot more playing time together. So I know back in Romania, they have been to a couple LANs together. They've played on, different teams together in EU. Skyreaper plays obviously in contenders right now, and but for the most part, most of them just kind of play with each other. I'll sometimes jump on the European servers just to play with them. Also because it's kind of fun playing Overwatch and calming in Romanian, just because it's different. Imagine some sort of a thick Romanian accent, but the opposite, an English accent in Romanian while on shot call. It's pretty hilarious.
Glorious.
But yeah, I mean, not really, but it's fun to get to play with them a lot more now because we're scrimming all the time and playing with them.
Right.
Nicely done. So yeah, I can see how that would be a little amusing, especially given the glory of it. So Romania taking the victory over Latvia. What's next for you guys?
Honestly, we got Spain on Wednesday, 9 a.m. and I believe top 2 from each group go. Correct. So I think we're gonna try to secure this win against Spain. They're a good team, but we honestly have a very deep pool. We are happy with our team, and we think that we can pull off the win and advance from there.
And based on what we've seen today, I think your confidence is well grounded.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely looking forward to seeing you guys play up against Spain a little bit later into the week. So best of luck in that game. 3P, do you have any more questions as we are about to move forward here?
Just a word of praise for the Romanian squad, especially for Alexio. You've flexed your nice flexing there, and we're looking forward to seeing more from you.
Thank you. Just as a heads up, the transcendences at the end of the map were to scout if they were coming to the point. Put that out there.
Okay.
I had to make sure my Q button was working because it wasn't needed earlier in the match.
No. What a flex.
Oof. That's a big oof. But Alexio, with those final parting orders, we want to say thank you for hopping in here and answering a few questions with us, just hanging out. But we're going to go ahead and let you go, my friend, so you can decompress, hang out with your team, or whatever the situation may be.
Thank you very much.
You have a good one, my friend.
You as well. Bye, guys.
And with that, Threep, I think we are just about ready to wrap her up here. Would you say?
Yeah, that was. I think I need a little decompressing myself. Pour one out for Latvia, but Romania, they made their proficiency at the game known. I don't think anyone can doubt. But it will be interesting to see them go up against the Spanish team, which I think, honestly, that'll probably be a pretty good game. I'm gonna have to tune in for it. Very curious to see if Spain can give